Hello, my name is Tanzim Islam. Today we will be discussing the Meuse Valley Fog of 1930. The purpose and objective of today's presentation is to understand the events that occurred during the Meuse Valley Fog of 1930, to analyze other air pollution episodes in the area, and to learn about the cause of the Meuse Valley Fog of 1930. We will also determine where most of Belgium's air pollution comes from today, and we will try to understand how air pollution still affects Belgium's population today. We will discuss the timeline and demographic of events, air pollution episodes in the surrounding area, air pollution in Belgium today, and the aftermath of the 1930 Meuse Valley Fog. The Meuse Valley is a river that goes through France, then through Belgium, and then goes into Holland. On December 1st, 1930, a heavy fog came upon the Meuse Valley. This fog lasted about 5 days. It was extremely thick, wet, and toxic. The town's population were terrified as they could barely see through the fog. The fog also caused blindness, nausea, and choking fits. This is a map of the Meuse Valley. The map shows that areas that were used by large factories, densely populated areas, and areas that were affected by the fog, and also the deaths from the fog. As you can see, a lot of the victims who passed away from the fog lived near industrial complexes or factories. This fog affected the cattle in the area and caused thousands of individuals to get sick. There was about 64 deaths from the incident. If you look over here at the pie chart, you will see that 43.8% of deaths were females with the average age of 70, and 56.3% of the deaths were males with the average age of 56. This chart shows that the victims were a little older. However, younger, healthy individuals also got sick from the fog. There was only a few other times that this area had experienced episodes of fog. In January 1897, a sudden outbreak of an asthma-like illness among humans and animals, along with a dense fog that remained for 3 days in Huy, a town near the Meuse Valley, occurred. In 1902, there was an epidemic called fog asthma. It was extremely severe and was investigated, but no cause was found. Post-mortem examinations of cattle that had died in the fog showed advanced pulmonary emphysema, which is normally a chronic condition. In January 1911, a toxic fog had also drifted through the same area, killing many humans and large amounts of cattle, sheep, and hogs, which caused a significant economic burden on the population. Belgian meteorologist named Felix Bertrand concluded that the deaths were due to some substance of local origin contained in the fog. Scientists and doctors were extremely confused about this fog. Data collected through interviewing those who had experienced respiratory symptoms and 15 autopsies were completed, but all toxicological tests were negative. Chemical analysis of soil deposits along the valley were completed to determine the composition of the fog, but results could not be directly linked to the fog. Analysis of emissions from the factories near the Meuse River found that there were concentrations of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrous acid, sulfur dioxide, and hydrofluoric acid. Researchers believe that the sulfur dioxide may have partly transformed to sulfuric acid due to the presence of oxidizing agents and moisture from the fog. Using the pathological evidence and data from emission analysis, it was concluded that sulfur dioxide was likely the cause of symptoms experienced in the Meuse Valley. Sulfur dioxide was the largest concentration of pollutant in the valley because of the factories burning coal. Further analysis indicates that sulfur dioxide concentrations within the Meuse Valley reached 25 to 100 milligrams per cubic meter. Sulfur dioxide was the only pollutant that had the ability to disperse throughout the valley with high enough concentrations to be toxic for humans. Weather conditions in the area also played a role because it encouraged the production of sulfuric acid, which could have caused asthma-like symptoms for the population. The excess carbon dioxide emissions in combination with the meteorological conditions were responsible for the respiratory illnesses in the population. The first consequences of air pollution was described in Belgium after the Meuse Valley Fog. Ambient air pollution is a mixture of particulate matter and gaseous pollutants, such as sulfur dioxide, nitric dioxide, and ozone. Between 2009 and 2013, there was 11,428 hospitalizations in Belgium related to air pollution. This was despite the fact that the concentrations of air pollutants were beneath the European air quality guidelines. The line graph on this slide shows more recent values of SO2 emissions in Belgium. The orange line represents the guidelines for SO2 emissions, while the blue line represents the actual level of emissions. SO2 emissions have been going down as the years pass. However, the EU guidelines still leave room for individuals to be affected by air pollution. The Meuse Valley Fog of 1930 was one of the first major events that showed the potential link between morbidity and air pollution. It was discovered that the combination of SO2 and weather conditions, anticyclonic with high atmospheric pressure, and a low-speed wind blowing from the east, caused respiratory issues in the population. Today, the World Health Organization considers air pollution as one of the largest avoidable causes of mortality. Thank you for watching my presentation on the Meuse Valley Fog of 1930. I hope you enjoyed.